Some managers will wildcard in game week 24. Others will hold off until around game week 32. And here's the thing, both strategies can work. It just depends on your situation and your goals for the FPL season. I'm Josh from FPL Hauly. I have 17 seasons playing FPL and a top 2K all-time rank. Today, I'm giving you the framework to make the wildcard decisions yourself. This video will provide you with the decision frameworks to figure out what's right for your rank, your mini league, and your team. Because this isn't about following the template, this is about understanding what decision you should make based on your goals for your FPL season. Let me break it down for you. Game week 24 isn't just another deadline. 4 things converge that make this an inflection point in your FPL season. So first, fixture swings with new manager intel. Manchester United, Chelsea, and Aston Villa's fixtures all turn for the better. We'll have seen 2 to 3 games of United and Chelsea under their new managers, Carrick and Rosenior. We'll have a better idea about their tactics and preferred players. So Bruno Fernandes, Bryan Mbeumo, Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, Morgan Rogers, Ollie Watkins, all become potentially appealing FPL options. Second, fixtures swing the other way. Man City and Newcastle in particular get really tough. So Foden, O'Reilly, Chow and Bruno all could potentially become sells. And third, the January transfer window will be nearly closed. So that means a bit more clarity on squads. And fourth, European groups will be finalised. So the Champions League and the Europa League final match days happen between game weeks 23 and 24. So we'll know which teams have qualified directly and which teams will have 2 extra player fixtures between game weeks 26 and 28. So that's intel that may impact FPL player rotation. Now, this isn't just about timing, it's about the intersection of timing and team state. So yes, game week 24 is an inflection point, but the wildcard decision also comes down to this. Do you want to rip up your team and make 6, 7, 8 transfers right now? Because at that point, the hit costs becomes untenable. You're spending 12 to 16 points just to fix your squad. That's when the wildcard stops being a luxury and starts being a necessity. There are 2 valid paths here. Let me walk you through them both. So path A is the wildcard in game week 24. So this path is for managers who need to be aggressive. You should wildcard now if you're really dissatisfied with your rank. So maybe you're sitting at a million plus overall rank and that's nowhere near your target. Or you're 50 points plus behind your mini league rival and you need to make up ground fast. Or your team just needs a complete rebuild. So not 2 or 3 transfers, 6, 7 or 8 moves potentially. And your squad value is locked in underperforming players. Or you could be formation trapped. So you look at your team and you just don't like it. So here's the reality. If you're in this situation and you hold your wildcard and play it in game week 32, like most template managers will, the ground you make up on them will be negligible. Everyone's going to be doing roughly the same thing at the same time. So you are running out of time to differentiate your team. And if you need to make up big gaps, you need to move now. And there's a tactical advantage to wildcarding in game week 24. So by game week 24 deadline, we may have confirmation on those potential double game weeks in 27 or 29. So that means you could be building your wildcard team with actual double game week intel, not speculation. So if that is the case, you can position your bench boost or triple captain chips for game weeks 27 or 29 with more certainty than managers waiting until wildcard game week 32. Then path B, that is hold for later, most likely game week 32. So this path is for managers like me. So to use myself as a good example here, I'm sitting around the 180k overall rank mark. Could be better, but generally I'm happy with my rank at this stage of the season based on my goals, which is to get into the top 50k. Now my team doesn't need a complete rebuild. I want to make maybe 3 or 4 moves, not 7 or 8. Because I'm rolling my transfer in game week 23, I will have 3 free transfers in game week 24. So I'm looking at something like Saka, Minte and Foden, and possibly Ekitike, moving to Bruno, Enzo Fernandez, Rice, and potentially Ollie Watkins. So that's a massive pivot towards those fixture swings without burning my wildcard. Now, I might even consider a -4 hit if that 4th move really makes sense. But here's the key. I can make that pivot because my team structure is fundamentally sound. If I was sitting at a 1.2 million rank and needed to rip up my entire team, then that's a different conversation entirely. So holding my wildcard also preserves the game week 32 chip sequence that I really like, and a lot of managers do as well. So that would be you wildcard in game week 32, bench boost, sorry, you dead end your team into the blank game week 31 for the Carabao Cup. You wildcard in game week 32. You can then bench boost the confirmed double game week 33, free hit the blank in game week 34, which is the FA Cup semi-finals, and then you can hold your triple captain and play it in either double game week 29 or 36 whenever they fall. So that flow is really powerful if you can get there. Now, I talk about that strategy in detail in my second half of the season chip strategy video, which I will link to at the end. Let me give you the actual decision framework you can use to audit your situation and make an informed decision with clarity. So these are the 4 questions you need to answer honestly. Question 1, what is your rank situation? Are you deeply dissatisfied with your current rank? And if your target is to finish top 100K or top 50K and you're at 1.5 million currently, that's a massive gap. Being honest with yourself, can you realistically close that gap with free transfers over the next 8 game weeks? Or does your team need a complete reset? Be honest about your goals with yourself. And if you're at 500K and you're fine with that, you don't need to wildcard just because other people are. But if you're at 500K and you want to finish in the top 10K, you've got work to do and fast. Question 2. What's your mini league situation? So I know that some FPL managers don't consider overall rank at all and just focus on specific mini leagues they're in. So if this is you, are you 50 plus points behind your main rival? So that's roughly 7 to 8 game weeks of green arrows if you're averaging a 7-point swing per week. And if you're in that situation, you're running out of time. Wildcarding now to build a differentiated team against your rivals might be your best shot at closing that gap. But if you're neck and neck or slightly ahead of your mini league rivals, you can afford to be patient with your wildcard and let them make the first moves. Question 3, how many transfers would you want to make right now? Now, obviously, we'd all love unlimited transfers, but if you had a magic wand and could make unlimited transfers with no points hits, realistically, how many would you make? 3, 4, or is it more like 7 to 8? If it's 6 plus, and 6 for me is kind of the tipping point, then you're in wildcard territory. That's obviously contingent on how many free transfers you have, but doing the maths, I would suggest at most you want to be taking a -8, so 2 hits. Probably combining 2 free transfers with 2 hits to get to 4 transfers. And I would need to hear a seriously compelling argument to take a -8, by the way. Otherwise, you're basically playing a wild card. You're just paying for it in points instead of using the chip. And question 4, is your team structure fundamentally broken? Is your squad value locked in underperforming players? Has your formation flexibility gone? So if you can't pivot from, say, a 3-4-3 to a 4-5-1 without taking hits, then you need to consider a wildcard. And if you have that, again, general deep dissatisfaction with your team, then again, you're in wildcard territory. But if your structure is sound and you just need to swap a few players around to get those fixture swings, you can do that with free transfers. And again, maybe 1 to 2 hits max. I just want to stress there is no universal right answer here. It's all based on your rank goals, your mini league situation, and also your risk tolerance. How do you like to play FPL? If you like to play high risk, wildcard now and see what you can gain. But it doesn't come without risk. So these decisions all shape which path makes sense for you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to give you the frameworks to make an informed decision based on what you want from the rest of your FPL season. Right, so you've made your decision if you should wildcard in game week 24 or not. Great, now what? So I'm releasing this video just before game week 23, and a quick note on game week 23 strategy. So regardless of your wildcard decision, you should do everything you can to roll your transfer in game week 23. So here's why. If you're not wildcarding, those extra free transfers in game week 24 let you make big moves to counter those wildcarders. If you are wildcarding, you can roll those transfers through your wildcard, which means you'll have banked transfers to counter everyone else who will be wildcarding later in the season. So either way, free transfers are so valuable at this time of year. Do everything you can to save them. So following the arrows here, if you do wildcard in game week 24, the pros are you've got chip flexibility, you can bench boost or triple captain those potential doubles in 27 or 29 with potentially confirmed intel. If we do get intel on those confirmed doubles, I think we might see a lot of people move quite quickly from a wildcard 32 to potentially a wildcard 24. So do just keep that in mind. You can then structure your team around those opportunities. You're playing with information other managers can't drastically act on. Now, if you hold your wildcard for later around game week 32, you can then make your 3 or 4 big moves using those free transfers and possibly a hit or two. You can pivot to those fixture swings, then continue using your free transfers as we move towards that game week 32 sequence. You dead end your team into blank game week 31 when it's the Carabao Cup final, and then you wildcard 32, bench boost in double game week 33, free hit in the blank game week 34, and then you can play your triple captain in either 29 or 36, depending on how those double game week fixtures land. Both paths work, you've just chosen different timing. So there we have it, 2 paths, no template right answer, just a framework to make an informed decision based on your situation and FPL season. Use the frameworks, consider your rank, your mini league, and your FPL goals. They're all different from mine, and ask yourself the questions, then make an informed decision. So, are you wildcarding in game week 24? Drop your final decision in the comments below. I want to see the split. And if you want to go deeper on that game week 32 chip sequence, I've linked my full chip strategy video right here and in the description below. Subscribe to FPL Hauly for more FPL decision-making frameworks, and best of luck with your wildcard decisions.